Hello, my friends, Mr. Mike here, and today we're with Peppa Pig, and we're going to choose a story using this octahedron, which is just a fancy word for eight-sided die. It has 8 numbers on it, so let's roll it and see which story we're going to read. We ended up with a 1, so we'll read the first story, which is called The Tooth Fairy, and that is 1. All right, let's begin. The Tooth Fairy, Peppa Pig. Oh, it looks like Peppa's missing a tooth, so she'll definitely be getting a visit from the Tooth Fairy. Once upon a time, there was a clever little pig named Peppa. She was very proud of her teeth. Grunt, grunt. She's brushing them, which is a good thing to do. Peppa and her brother George knew how to take care of their teeth. They brushed them every morning and every evening. Brush, brush. Yeah, that's a good idea to brush your teeth twice a day. Peppa and George loved playing dentist. Peppa would pretend to be the dentist, and George would be her assistant. George's toy dinosaur was the patient. What lovely clean teeth you have, Mr. Dinosaur, Peppa smiled. Grrr, said George. Everybody knows Mr. Dinosaur is Peppa George's best friend. Oh, look, it's the sun. And look at there. There's Dentist Peppa. One day, after playing their dentist game, Peppa and George were eating their dinner. Suddenly, something fell onto Peppa's plate. Clatter, clatter. It made Peppa jump. What's that? She asked. Ho, ho, it's a tooth, Daddy Pig laughed. But where is it from? Asked Peppa. Oh, there it is. It fell into her spaghetti. Why don't you look in the mirror? Said Mummy Pig. Peppa looked. She had a big gap in her teeth. Oh no, Peppa cried. Do we need to see Dr. Elephant? Ho, ho, ho. No, said Mummy Pig. It's just a baby tooth. It's meant to fall out. Oh no, poor Peppa. But that's okay. A baby tooth? What's that? Asked Peppa. A baby tooth is a tooth that falls out when you're young, explained Mummy Pig. A new one will grow in its place. Way to go, Mummy Pig. What should I do with my baby tooth? Asked Peppa. If you place it under your pillow, the tooth fairy will come. She will take your tooth and leave you a shiny new coin, said Mummy Pig. Ooh, that's exciting. That evening, while Peppa watched television with her family, she kept thinking about the tooth fairy. There's Daddy Pig asleep. I can totally relate. Mummy Pig is reading a book. That's an interesting picture they have on the wall. When I grow up, I want to be a tooth fairy, said Peppa. Daddy Pig chuckled. What about you, George? Asked Daddy. George pointed at the dinosaur. Dinosaur, he growled. Hee hee hee. I guess they're watching a show about pancakes. There's their pet goldfish. Come on, George, shouted Peppa. We don't want to miss the tooth fairy. They both ran up to the stairs to get ready for bed. Yeah, this picture I've always wondered about. It's I guess a ketchup bottle and a pear. What are you doing, Peppa? Asked Daddy Pig. Peppa was carefully brushing her baby teeth. I want it to be nice and clean for the tooth fairy, said Peppa. Snort, snort. Peppa tucked the tooth under her pillow. Are you sure the tooth fairy will be able to find it? She asked. I promise, said Mummy Pig. Just you wait and see. Good night, Peppa and George. Good night, Mummy. Good night, Daddy. Hee hee. Yep, I guess Peppa's bedtime is 8 o'clock. Hmm. And there's the moon, so it's definitely nighttime. Good night, George. Good night, Peppa. I'm going to wait up all night for the tooth fairy, Peppa said. George, let's not go to sleep. George smiled and nodded. Peppa waited and waited. Snore, snore. She could hear something. Is that the tooth fairy? Peppa wondered. George, she whispered, did you hear that? Can you see the tooth fairy? She climbed down to look at George. He was fast asleep. It was making the noise. Yep, it's definitely George. He's snoring. He's got dinosaur. I am much better staying awake than George, Peppa sighed. She settled back in her bed. After a while, her eyes started to close. She quickly opened them again. I am going to stay up awake and see the tooth fairy, Peppa said to herself firmly. Snore, snore, snore. But soon she was asleep. Oh, who's that? Looks like a tooth fairy. Looks just like Peppa. Tinkle, tinkle. What was that? Well, we know because we've already seen her. There she is. She's taking the tooth. There's Peppa with her teddy bear. It was the tooth fairy. Hello, Peppa, she whispered. Would you like a coin in exchange for your tooth? The tooth fairy gently took Peppa's tooth out from under the pillow and put a shiny coin in its place. What a lovely, clean tooth, the fairy said. Thank you very much. Flutter, flutter, flutter. Wow, that's an interesting picture. It's a dinosaur, another giant, no, another dinosaur, and I guess that's another dinosaur. The next morning, Peppa found the shiny coin under her pillow. Mummy, the tooth fairy did come after all, she shouted, jumping up and down. Oh, I wish I had seen the tooth fairy, Peppa sighed. Next time, I'm definitely going to stay awake all night. Snort, hee hee. Oh, and there's the nice shiny coin the tooth fairy gave her. All right. Yeah, see, Peppa, it was okay to lose a tooth, wasn't it? It's all part of growing up. And the tooth fairy will visit you, but you always got to be asleep when the tooth fairy shows up, or the tooth fairy won't come. And you'll get a nice shiny coin out of the deal. What do you think about that, Peppa? Yeah. Well, looks like Peppa doesn't have much to say, but anyway, thank you for listening to my book. And if you liked it, please like this and subscribe and check out my other Peppa Pig stuff. Have a great day. Bye bye.